Hey y'all, Iric Sky here, back with a special and unannounced live event. Hope everyone can hear me okay. If you can, I see people trickling into chat right now. Welcome aboard. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Should be okay. 480p. Okay, let me check my. Okay, now if you okay now if you click the gear in the bottom right hand of the YouTube player window, you should be able to see. Oh, awesome! You can hear me. Great. You should be able to choose your setting. It may be based upon your internet speed. It may be a little bit lower, but if you click that gear in the bottom right, if I have it set up properly. Hey, Sean Coonery, your personal presence is being requested. He's on the other side of the studio, but I'll get Sean Coonery on the camera here in a minute. Got a full table with the GoPro Karma, so he may get in the way, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and start rolling. Let's share. I'm sharing this out on social media right now. I encourage you to do the same because we're going to have an absolutely epic show. Just got the GoPro Karma, and we're going to completely dissect the good and the bad. Haven't flown it yet, but we're just going to look at it, what's in the box, or should I say backpack, and just really answer any questions that you may have. So yeah, tweet this out. Let's get rocking and rolling here. Be thinking of your questions because this is a show for y'all. This is a show for questions and everything we can chat about. We're gonna do it. Okay, got it out on my Twitter. Almost. Okay, so it's out on Twitter. Get it out on Google Plus. Almost ready. Appreciate y'all's patience here. GoPro Karma. GoPro. Hashtag Karma. Hashtag 400 or below. Okay, I got that out. Yeah, where is my Mavic? So it looks like I'm reviewing the GoPro Karma first, but that's not a bad thing, and we're about to see some really cool stuff. Let's see. Getting geared up here. Let me share to one more social media site. Just a second. And yet one more. And we will get rocking and rolling. And for anyone that may not be able to tune in live, this will be recorded and it will be able to be played later. But the advantage to the live component is that obviously I can see your comments live and we can chat live. I can respond live face on video. So we're good. Everybody's confirmed that the audio and the video is good. I appreciate that. We got Sean Coonery. He is in the studio, but he said, man, I'm taking a break. He said, I've had a rough day. So he'll come over here in a minute. Let's see. Yes, you're on live. Where is Sean Coonery? Will you be tracking Santa this year? Actually, yeah, that's great that you mentioned that because I think it was, I forget how many years ago it was early days in the YouTube channel where I did a live Santa tracking. So I'm going to add that to the to-do list. So stay tuned for that. Yep. Tech Deflect, I just answered your Santa question. Your mic sounds really good. This is a pretty smooth, good work. Thank you. I'm trying to, with the bandwidth limitations and that sort of thing, I think I've possibly worked out the kinks with the bandwidth, and I should be streaming up to 1080p. And the microphone, it's the one I love. It's USB, and I've got an extension cable running, a USB extension cable running from it to a desktop computer in the studio. So, without further ado, let's get to the meat and potatoes here. And obviously today, the star of the show is what's right here in front of me. And this is the GoPro Karma. And I'm looking in my screen, so I want to make sure y'all can see it. If there's any, had some Sean Connery fur on it. But if there's anything you're particularly curious about, yes, I am getting the DJI Mavic. But I don't have the Mavic yet. I've ordered it, but it's not here yet. But the GoPro Karma, when you put it in your hands, I will say the build quality, it feels better than like a Phantom 3, which was nice, but it doesn't have that really, if you've held a Phantom 4 in your hands, how it's just that really substantial, really super heavy duty plastic type material. This is just a tier below that, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but it feels a little bit less hard of a plastic than the DJI Phantom 4. What I do like, when you extend these arms, it's got a really nice snappy tactile feel to it. They've been extended. There's no guessing, did I pop these out or not. It's got a tactile feel and a little sound that it makes. And to close them, obviously close the ones closest to the camera first. Again, nice tactile feel. There's no fumbling around guessing, did I close it properly or did I not? So I can tell a lot of design, a lot of R&D research and design went into this. The landing gear, again, pops out. You get a nice tactile feel. The bottom of it, the plastic, and maybe this is just in my mind, but the material on the bottom and the material of the landing gear feels a lot more solid to me than the DJI Phantom series. Not that matters, because obviously I always land gently, but all in all, as a unit, this thing feels very well made, and that's something I wouldn't have expected anything less from GoPro. GoPro is, they for many years, and they've had recent problems. When they released not the current GoPro Hero 5 session, but when they released the GoPro Session, they disappointed a lot of people, including myself, because they didn't include 4K. And the Session came out after the GoPro Hero 5 4 Black, which did include 4K 30. So that was a disappointment. Kind of set GoPro backwards. It set them back a little bit, and especially on Wall Street, they got hammered. But yeah, the build quality of this is nice. And what I think is really fascinating, and I don't know how well you can see it on this camera right here, but see the little gimbal assembly. You can see it's kind of floating around in the front. So this is the first time ever that I've owned a drone that has a front-mounted camera on a gimbal. So it's going to be interesting to see how that performs. And what I'm most curious about with this is the what am I trying to say? The props in the field of view. By having the camera in this location, how easily will the props be able to enter the camera's field of view? Again, to be field tested. Just unbox this thing. Actually, right now in the studio, I'm exporting the unboxing video, so you'll be able to watch that in 4K Ultra HD later. You'll be able to see everything that's in there. But yeah, the build quality is nice. So if you were questioning that, it's a lot of weird things have happened with drones. We've inevitably, and I know a lot of people feel this way, but if you've been a DJI fan, you've probably enjoyed DJI Phantom, and you've probably wanted some healthy competition to come into play. And if you're like me, you've probably tested a lot of different drones, and you just keep, at least in my case, I keep coming back to DJI Phantom because it's been such a solid platform. This thing feels like, as far as a Phantom competitor, I think we may have something here. Again, to be field tested. But from a build quality, this backpack that this came in, let me see if you can see that on the camera here. It's it's nice quality. It's not a cheap, when I think of carrying case or backpack bundled with an item, I think of something cheap and, low budget material. That's definitely not the case. And we'll look at the backpack here in a minute. First, I want to hold up the propellers here. So, like a Phantom, you've got, obviously it's a quadcopter, so it's got 4 motors. And the propellers feel very well made. They've got, I can't tell if that's like a metal type material in the middle. I think inside the nipple, and yeah, it appears to be a metal type material inside the nipple that screws onto the, it screws onto the motor. So that's potentially better than the plastic type material. Like a DJI Phantom prop, they have the directional indicator in the middle of the nipple to unlock, turn this way. And they got 2 different colors. This has a silver nipple, this has a black nipple. So you get what came with mine. I got 2 blacks, 2 silvers. But curiously enough, unlike a Phantom, where I would get 2 sets, with this, I only got a backup black and a backup silver. So if you happen to break all 4 props, you're going to be in a situation where you would need to buy, I guess I should say, if you break more than one of a kind, you're going to have to get more props because it only came with 2 spares, not a full set. So the props look nice. Yeah, we're going to weigh this. I've got a scale in here, so what we're going to do as part of this live show, we're going to put all this GoPro stuff back in here after we look at it, and we're going to put it on a scale and see how much it weighs in the back. Now this is the weight of everything we're about to put in here when we conclude this live show. So it'll be a true test of, if you get a GoPro Karma and you load what we're about to put in here. So what I put in here so far, I put the 4 propellers and the 2 backup propellers. I've also got the 2 propeller wrench tools, which I haven't used yet, but I'll have to get familiar with these. Thought that was interesting. Came with 2 of those, which is good. Also included, you get the, and if I get out of the frame, let me know here. Oh yeah, I saw. Well, and another thing, and there's a lot of YouTubers out there, but what you should realize is that a lot of times when you're seeing videos and you're seeing videos early on, that's not necessarily the situation where that is the actual production model of a drone. So a lot of times some of these big companies, they'll want to get their product in the hands, or I should say in the spotlight, and they may go, and I'm not saying that's what they did, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of the videos, or several people on YouTube that were stating, oh, this is a pre-release version of a drone. I don't judge the build quality, what's included, the performance, or any of that based upon a pre-release product. Because pre-release, as far as we know, it could have been months old. It could have been early on in the prototype phase. So, it's not fair to judge something until you see the production unit. This is a production unit. This is not a pre-release. So it comes with a frame for the GoPro Hero 5 Black. This is the GoPro Hero 5 Black model. So it's just a cool accessory. It comes with it. A wrist strap. Who wears a wrist strap? But it comes with it. So you got a wrist strap. You got this little doohickey here. Like if you're mounting it on a this type GoPro mount, I think. Let's see, what was it? Like a oh no, the sticky mounts, like if you're putting on a motorcycle helmet, this would slide into that to connect. So it comes with that. Curiously enough, this did not come with any of the sticky mounts. Came with this little door piece right here. And it came with a thing showing how to attach the door. So my expectation is that when I take the GoPro off of the Karma, and we're going to do that here in a minute, that I'll have to use this door. So there's that piece. It came with this piece, which I think holds the GoPro Karma grip, which came with it, which is nice, handheld gimbal. Really, really cool. So we're going to look at it here in a minute, but I think this piece goes for that. I think, and we will see how this works, but I think this goes around to, oh yeah, you know what, you're right. The wrist strap is for the handheld gimbal. I guess I just included a backup because I've got one that's not attached. So, yeah, and then it came with this little Velcro piece right here for something, and all of that was in this bag. So this is the, since this is the Hero 5 Black model, it came with all of this in a bag. And I think it's nice they included this bag because, if you're primarily using your Hero 5 Black with the drone, you're using it as a drone camera, probably won't need all of these accessories. So you can kind of keep them isolated. And then you've got your little USB-C charging /sync cable that was in there. So that's that bag. And as we go through this, we're putting all of this in the case because we're gonna do a weight test here in a minute. I mean, I'm gonna get a scale out and weigh this thing. So in theory, you wouldn't even, if you were just using it for the drone functionality, you wouldn't even have to carry that with you. So we're going to figure out where that goes in the case. This piece, I don't think this is just a little disposable piece. This piece, when it was in the case, when it came new out of the box, again, I've unboxed it and that's it. But that was right there, I guess, just to keep the gimbal from going around. Yeah, the gimbal is quite large, and we're going to look at it in more depth here in a minute. Before we look at it, though, obviously I just got out of the box. I'm charging everything up. This is the charger and the battery. Let me take it off the charger here. And I'm charging the controller and the battery at the same time. So this is the battery. It is a 5100 milliamp battery. It's thin, but it's long. So it's different than what you may be accustomed to with a GoPro. I mean, not a GoPro, but a DJI Phantom 3 or a DJI Phantom 4. It's not as fat of a battery. This is what's really cool. And when I put this in my hand for the first time, I noticed that it's got this nice rubberized type feel on the side. And that's nice because most of the time when I'm flying, I'm either hot, sweaty, or I've been out in an ocean somewhere, so I'm wet. So I can better grip it. The coolest part about this is that obviously you've got the built-in screen. Now, not a strike against DJI at all because I really like using my Phantom 4 with my iPod Touch. It's a great experience. But this, what I'm most curious about, is seeing how the glare is because it did not include any sort of sun hood. So has GoPro been able to do something that the other people haven't, and that's create a screen that's integrated into the controller that can properly handle glare. To be tested. The controller itself, very simplistic. You got start stop, you've got a land button, you've got your gimbal wheel on the top, you've got a record, and then you've got a mode. And then down here, when you pop this out, you got USB-C so that you can what am I trying to say? Charge it. It's actually, let's see, huge controller. Let's go through some questions here. Main complaint, the Karma is flying around a lot of stuff that is not needed in the air, and that makes it heavy, have shorter range, less battery life. You know what? That's true. It's kind of a trade-off, and I haven't, stay tuned for the first field test with the GoPro Karma, but it's, to your point, it does. I look at the DJI Mavic, which I've got coming, but I don't have yet. The DJI Mavic, I look at more of a minimalist type design. It's very small. It's probably a lot more portable than this. But what excites me to test with the Karma, there's a few things. And I'm all about video. I'm about 4K video. Is the 4K video image quality and stability as good or better than the DJI Mavic? Now, I don't even care about comparing this to the DJI Phantom 4 because the DJI Phantom 4, and you can check out my flood of recent Phantom 4 videos, I feel the video quality at 4K is very nice. I'm looking at this and I'm looking at Mavic for their portability and their enhanced functionality. So talking about the weight that you have here with the you're carrying this other stuff. You're carrying the Karma Grip, which is a handheld gimbal. And then you've also got your battery and your controller. By the way, this power brick right here is really warm. Like really warm. And I've been charging the GoPro battery and the controller with it. So this is something when we weigh the Karma, let's keep this out because typically I doubt someone would be traveling with a wall charger. They'd probably be traveling with a car charger, which I don't have. So this grip, or this controller rather, to go in the case. So I got my props at the end here. This goes on top of the props. And I'm going to slide this over here so everybody can see everything. So we're going to put our, yeah, y'all can see that. Can y'all see that on the camera? Yeah. Okay, so the Karma and that protective piece, is, you know, like I said earlier, I'm going to keep. So I'm going to slide the battery in it. It's one battery. I've got the Karma in here. I've got the GoPro attached to the gimbal there. And I'm putting this little protective piece in front of the GoPro Hero 5 Black for transport. Then I've got the Karma grip, which goes here. And then I've got the bag of GoPro Hero 5 Black items. And I think I kind of packed it poorly because I'm having a... You know what I'll do? I'll take the little frame piece out and put it just in the case by itself. And then I'll keep all the small pieces in here. So now this can slide right there. So now everything's in there, except for my wall charger and my cable for the wall charger. If you wonder how big that is, here it is right here. So we'll weigh, I tell you what we'll do. We'll weigh this and the cable separately, and then the backpack with everything in it. So this has everything, this backpack right now has everything in it except for the wall charger and the power cord that attaches to the wall charger. So let's get this thing. You can see it's a really nice pack. And I mean this because that's what I was worried about. I'm like, this is going to be a cheap, just afterthought. Anything that's bundled. But it's actually not. I mean, this, when you look at the shoulder straps, they're padded on the inside. The back part is padded. And in addition to that, you get the little clip that goes across your chest. And if you've ever bought backpacks, you know that a lot of backpacks don't come with that. And the ones that do are typically better quality. Now, even the little GoPro logo on the side, not that I care about that, but it's rubber. So it's something that's built to, obviously I would not want to get this wet, but it does feel that if there was just a slight amount of moisture that it may be able to keep it out. I would not test it. I would put a proper rain fly over it. But it's got a little mount right here where you can mount your Karma grip, so when you're hiking, you can film stabilized video. So let me get, with that there, I'm going to get a thing to weigh this called a scale. Before I do, let's see. I think the benefit of a smaller drone is you are more likely to take it with you. It doesn't really matter which has the edge on picture quality if it is just sitting in a closet and it's too big. I agree wholeheartedly. As an early adopter of drones, I've always said when DJI released that Inspire, I said it's too big, it's too heavy. And my fear was that the drone industry was going to go to a bigger, more fancy drone. I didn't like that. So to see something like Karma come to market, and then, I thought it was absolutely hilarious because everybody, including myself, most people were just super pumped about the concept of a smaller, more lightweight drone, more portable drone. And then to see the Karma unveiling video that Nick Woodman put out, I thought was great. But then immediately after that, DJI had a trick up their sleeve, and they released the Mavic, which I don't have the Mavic at the time of posting this live event. But, I have a feeling that the Mavic, from a portability perspective, is probably going to win. Keep in mind, the range I fly line of sight to be safe and responsible, but the range of the Karma on paper is not anywhere close to a Phantom or not anywhere close to a DJI Mavic. So that's something to take into consideration. Let's get the scale over here. Let's see how much this thing weighs. This scale has a max weight of 110 pounds. So we're going to put it on, we're going to get it to 0 first. Make sure it shows 0 weight before we put any weight on it. Just a little cheap scale. You can find it on snagbear.com. Nothing fancy, but gets the job done. I've shipped a lot of packages using it, and I haven't had any issues. So apparently it's pretty accurate. £0, 0 ounces. Okay. Put my laptop down. And then we're going to set the Karma with everything we just saw. Put it on this scale. It does not have the power brick and the power cord. Actually, let me put it over this other way so all these little straps and everything are weighted too. Okay, so we're going to put it down like this. 10 pounds, 9.8 ounces. 10 pounds, 9.8 ounces. So it's everything except for the power brick and the power cable that's used for charging. Now let's see how much that weighs. So remember, 10 pounds, 9.8 ounces. That's what this kit right here weighs. 10 pounds, 9.8 ounces. Back to 0. And now we're going to put this on. Charging brick and the little wall cable. Actually, I guess I need to unplug that. And then put this. So I want it to all be... This is going to be fun. Let's see how we do this. There we go. Like that. And then we'll sit this on top. So what did we say? It was 10 pounds, 9.8 ounces for everything except for this. This added 1 pound, 0.3 ounces. So 10 pounds, 9.8 plus 1 is 11 pounds, 9.8 plus 0.3, 9.8, 9.9, 10? 10 pounds, 9.8. Somebody get a calculator. Let's do this. Because this was 1 pound, 0.3 ounces, and the other was 10 pounds, 9.8 ounces. So somebody do the math. Okay, great. 11 pounds, 10.1 ounces. So there you have it. I mean, nothing doctored up. I mean, obviously, what I did not include in that weight was the cardboard box that it shipped in, and then you get all that silicate gel and all that junk, and then these little disposable, like little nipple covers that were on the motors, that sort of stuff. So, if you just weighed the shipping box and everything in it, it would come out a little bit heavier. But that's it with what we just weighed. So I mean, I agree, it is heavy. It's heavier than I thought it would be. I don't think... Well, but here's the thing. See, when I just picked this up, it's different. It feels different. Because my most recent expedition with the Phantom 4, I knew that I had to do something. I love my waterproof and ruggedized case, but I knew that I had to get a solution for swimming with it, but lightweight. So you can check out on 400orbelow.com. You can check out the dry bag that I used for my Phantom 4. It worked really well. Kept my drone dry when I was kayaking and all sort of stuff. So, but even with that, with the dry bag and the the little glorified steak cooler, the case that the Phantom 4 comes in, it still felt a lot heavier and a lot bulkier than this. This is longer. That was deeper and shorter. So it's, I don't know. It's a matter of personal preference. I would have expected the GoPro Karma to be a little bit lighter and a little bit smaller. So from that perspective, I'm not saying I'm disappointed, but I'm saying I'm a little surprised. So yeah, I think what everybody's saying here, they're saying, is there going to be a Phantom 5? Is there going to be a Phantom 4 Pro? And it would only seem to make sense because, DJI with the Phantom platform, they've got something that's proven. It's proven to be reliable. And the one thing let's see how this, so that's how the battery comes out. See, it just slides out. One thing I was a little bit disappointed about with the DJI Phantom platform is that, once we got past Phantom 2, which I guess at that point in time, DJI rather, they probably realized that they had some competition coming from GoPro, so that's when they did away, after Phantom 2 became somewhat retired, they did away with GoPro capabilities on the DJI Phantom. So, not having a modular camera, I think what I expect to see from the Phantom 4 Pro or the Phantom 5, whatever they call it, I expect to see a modular camera option. And that would, if they do call it Phantom 4, that would make complete sense because you're getting a Pro version. I see the Mavic becoming the new, hey, let's go out and film some stuff. Let's be small. Let's be lightweight. And then I see the DJI Phantom platform becoming the, hey, I need a little bit more I need a little bit more options when it comes to camera. Maybe I want to put an infrared camera on there, or maybe I just want to have more flexibility as far as the camera is concerned. I can see value with the. Let me get all that stuff out of my lap. I've got too much stuff here. So you can see I'm charging the battery and the controller at the same time, which is kind of cool. And then also the Karma Grip for using without the drone, it can be charged by way of the same charger, USB-C. So when I finish charging the controller, I'm going to charge the Karma Grip. But all of this feels, to everyone's point, yeah, this is a little bit heavier than people thought, but you get a lot with it. I mean, you're getting, whereas if you go with a Phantom or a Mavic for that matter, if you want to have a gimbal, you're going to probably pick up the the DJI Osmo, which is nice. But you could also buy the Karma Grip separately, but then you got to have the gimbal piece and obviously the GoPro, so the price adds up on that. What I like is that how all of this, you get all of this in this kit, which is nice. So it's it's easy to just pack up and go. I guess the space on the side would be, trying to see if it would hold extra batteries in the case. We'll look at that here in a minute. Steve is here. Welcome aboard, Steve. That's what I've heard. I've heard people say the Mavic is light, but it's very capable in higher wind, and that's good because I mean the Phantom. If you've ever, and I never encourage flying in any sort of wind that may cause someone to lose their drone in a safe and responsible location, but the DJI Phantom platform has held up, at least for me, it's held up very well in wind, and I've flown up to about 25 miles per hour, which it kind of gets sketchy around there, but it's been able to do well. The fisheye, fisheye effect is terrible. That's something to be tested. I know I've got and I haven't tested the GoPro Hero 5 Black yet, but I've had a lot of testing with the GoPro Hero 5 Session. You can check it out, and there is some fisheye visible with the Session, so I'm expecting there's probably going to be fisheye available with this. What a lot of people have said, and again, I know this GoPro Karma just came out, so there's not a ton of production units that people have actually reviewed yet. Be interesting to see how this performs with the production GoPro Hero 5 Black. They say there's a linear mode, but that's not available in 4K. Interesting. Well, with the GoPro, at least with the Hero 5 Session, the stabilization, it's not available if you're filming in 4K, but you're using a gimbal, you shouldn't need in-camera stabilization anyway. So, loses the video comparison by default. Let's talk about the fisheye. Yeah, that's one of those things that's kind of, in my opinion, a nuisance. If you don't like the look of fisheye, then that's one of the things I'm most concerned with this GoPro Karma. But yeah, as far as taking off the, let's take this GoPro Hero 5 Black off, and let's see how this goes. So it's got a little diagram here. It says lock and unlock. Huh. Well, it's got a diagram. It says it's got a lock and an unlock. So I'm going to... I never want to force anything. Let's see. I feel really dumb. I'm gonna have to look in the owner's manual here and see how this pops out. It's got a lock and unlock diagram on it. Yeah, this is in some sort of foreign language. Let's see if there's anything in this. Came with this paperwork. Oh, and the paperwork was in the box too when we did the weight test. Karma, let's get started. Stickers. Yeah, let's do the let's get started. Yeah, and it does show in the owner's manual here. I assume that was the case, but it says charge the devices, so it lets you charge. And likewise, you can charge the GoPro Hero 5 Black at the same time as the battery, or the controller with the battery, or the Karma grip with the battery. Okay, let's see. It says unlock the collar on the drone and remove the stabilizer. I was doing it the right way. And don't want to force anything. So, I don't know how well you can see it in this video, but there's on the stabilizer, it's got an unlock and a lock graphical representation. So now I've got it on unlock. Oh, it comes out. I guess it was just because it was the first time. It was kind of hard to get out. So it looks like, that's interesting, it looks like the actual connector on that looks similar. It may even be a USB-C. So you can see in there, this thing just slides in and connects to that. What's cool is that you can, and that's nice because you can see where it's going to line up. So see, now I'll stick this in the grip, in the Karma grip. Well, let's see. Oh, there's an unlock on this. So I put this in unlock position. I can see in there that it looks like a little USB-C type thing, and then this looks like a USB-C type thing. With it unlocked, I'm going to stick this in. And then once it's stuck in, I twist that to lock it. And this actually already has a charge. So I powered it on. Oh, now. Yeah, that works. And you can see it's got this feels very substantial. It turned my GoPro on. It's detecting I got a charged GoPro Hero 5 Black. One of the cool things about the GoPro Hero 5 Black is it's got you can see there, it's got the viewfinder on the back. So it's something you get with the Hero 5 Black that you don't get with the Hero 5 Session. So, yeah, I really like the feel of this. And one of the things that it has is a mounting ring, so you can mount it to your backpack, to your GoPro Karma backpack, and have stabilized footage while you're walking. Even if the GoPro Karma disappoints, which I hope it doesn't, but if it does, I would pick one of these up for GoPro in a heartbeat, just because it feels really nice. I mean, look at that. You may have dealt with some of the third-party gimbals out there for GoPro. Some of them are quite nice, but you probably found that they're all finicky. The design of them, you can tell it wasn't an operation that had as much money as GoPro did. I mean, this is refined. You don't have wires hanging out. You don't have, it feels nice. I don't think this is waterproof, though. That's something that I'm going to read. I'm 99% sure it's not waterproof or water resistant. If they really wanted to knock it out of the park, they would have made this waterproof so you can take it in the ocean or whatever. But it's got a record button rather. So you can push that on the back of it. It's got mode, let's see. It's got various modes. I'm going to have to research this because there's a lot of things that it seems that one can do with it. But yeah, this feels really cool. And I mean, obviously with the GoPro Hero 5 Black on top, this ought to really produce some really cool 4K walking video. And to power it off, yeah, so I just held the power button down to power it off. So with this powered off, let's take the GoPro out and see what this looks like. So there's a latch on the bottom here. Okay, so that pops out. And then once I did that, then the Hero 5 Black slides out. Now looking inside of here, you can see that was connected. So the Hero 5 Black, it's got the side door off because that connected to it for the control. Makes me wonder if this also keeps the Hero 5 Black charged because it's plugged into the USB. If it does, that'd be cool. Yeah, so that explains why with this you get your little baggie with your Karma with Hero 5 Black, and it's got that little door in it. Because if you're not using it on the see this door right here, and actually I see that as a potential hazard because if you're out and you've been filming with your drone or your Karma grip, how easy would it be to hop in the water and forget to put your side door on? So, you know what I may would have done? I may would have made this inside part bright orange or something, so when I look at my GoPro, it's very blatantly obvious that I forgot my side door. But as far as popping the door on is concerned, let's see how that works. Yep, pops right in. Minimal amount of effort. Again, like the Hero 5 Session, the Hero 5 Black is waterproof without a case. That's one of the advantages of the new GoPro Hero 5 series is that you don't, I mean, unless you're going to an extreme depth or you're in a really rough environment, you probably don't need an extra case for your GoPro Hero 5. Now to take this door off, I just pop it out, and then let's see, I pull that, it just pulls right out. So good design. Again, I would try to do something that made that brighter, so I would notice that I don't have my door attached, because I would be the person that would jump in the water and forget to have that on there. You know, how long will it be for you to fly? How long before I fly it? I'm going to try to fly it as soon as possible. It's definitely on the top of my list of priorities, because this thing, I've been waiting for it. I mean, it's took a long time to arrive. So first things first, and that's getting everything charged. I can tell you, I unboxed this, filmed about a 20-minute unboxing video. You'll be able to see that here momentarily on the channel. But the controller was somewhat charged when I got it. The battery was somewhat charged. I want to test, see how long it takes to charge from empty. The Hero 5 Black camera obviously has a user replaceable battery. That's something you get with the Hero 5 Black that you don't with the Hero 5 Session. So that's kind of cool if you're doing extended duration filming. Good design. It's a lot smaller than the Hero 4 Black. A lot smaller. So yeah, what any particular questions that y'all have? I know this has been a somewhat exhaustive video. I wanted to make sure that I covered everything, including the weight of the GoPro Karma, with everything in the bag except for the wall charger and the power cord. So what do y'all want to ask? I've got a little bit. Let's see, we've been running for 47 minutes. I got to flip into Chef Eric Sky mode and cook some food. How's the quality of the plastics? Great question. So just looking at everything here, the thing that I feel is the top quality is this controller. I mean, it just feels exceptionally well built, and I like, you know, the attention to detail with the rubberized sides on it. How is the screen on the remote of the Karma? That's a great question. It's let me see if I can get it on here. This is the first time I powered it on, actually. It's booting up. As soon as it comes on, I'll flip it around so hopefully y'all can see it here. No, I'll agree. It did look online. It did seem as if maybe it's kind of poor quality, but in my hands, it's actually doesn't feel hollow at all. So here's the screen right here. I don't know how well you can see that. That's the initial setup screen. It says Karma. Holding this in my hands, I feel like the controller is as good, if not better, than like a popular video game console, like an Xbox One. I mean, it's got a really good feel. It's you know, it's definitely, you know what's funny? That's a great, we're gonna, yeah, so this right here is super solid. This feels super solid in my opinion. Now the drone itself, let's see if I can navigate this here. It says English. So I got to pick my language. How do I do that? It says, oh, it says powering off. This has sound in it. That's interesting. And you know what? Since it's a GoPro camera, I don't know why someone would want to record sound with a drone, but since it's a GoPro, I bet you can get audio while you're flying. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, so the build quality of this controller, in my opinion, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 10. The drone itself, the top part of the plastic, it was funny, you compared it to a shampoo bottle. It does look like a shampoo bottle, but to touch it, I would say that the top, this white plastic right here, oh, you know what? It may be a touchscreen. I didn't touch it. I'm going to turn that back on in a second. We'll check it out. Yeah, this right here feels more solid to me than the Phantom 3, but it doesn't feel as solid as the Phantom 4. The bottom, the underbody of this, and the legs, they feel exceptionally strong. This is definitely a lot stronger than the Phantom 4 or previous models of landing gear, in my opinion. And something you'll notice about the arms when they pop out, it's just a very solid feel to it. You get that tactile feel that you know you've opened it, you know you've closed it. The arms, the build quality of them feels on par with the top of it. Definitely, if you've handled some competitors' drones like a Unique Typhoon H or something, the build quality of this is definitely, in my opinion, far superior. So, but again, I don't feel the build quality is as rigid as the Phantom 4. But I like the ease of opening and closing, and you notice there's no exposed wires like you may have seen on some other drones. There's no exposed wires, so it seems as if it's likely something that can take a mild amount of abuse. Now the motors, to me they look just as good as a Phantom 3 or a Phantom 4. I mean, they're just, they're in there nicely. It's going to be interesting to see when this thing lands, with that lower profile landing gear, as you can see there. It's going to be interesting to see how that lands, because there's not a lot of distance from the drone to the ground. But you'll notice if this was on a flat surface, which it's not, but I'm going to hold it horizontally, you can see it kind of angles up. So the GoPro's got a little bit of room between it and the ground. That's nice. I mean, GoPro's a rugged camera, but it's still nice to have it to where it's not jamming into the ground every time you land, hopefully. So yeah, the build quality of this, as I just described, and the propellers again, just like, these feel, in my opinion, just as good as a Phantom propeller. And looking at the middle, as I mentioned earlier, it looks like they have, it may be a metal type material in the middle versus a plastic, which, whatever your thoughts are on that. Yeah, this does not, great point, this does not have obstacle avoidance. So, you got a Phantom 4 that may be able to sense an object in front of it, and it may be able to stop to avoid collision. With this, you don't have that. That's not an issue for a lot of people, including myself. I think that obstacle avoidance is a great gesture as far as safety is concerned, but I don't think that it's necessarily something. It's something I don't use. I'm confident enough when I fly. Number one, I know I'm in an environment where it's safe and I don't have to deal with obstacles. I could see if someone was in a safe location, they were trying to get some close-ups with trees and that sort of stuff, and even if they're in visual line of sight, they may still get close enough to a tree to where if they didn't have obstacle avoidance, they may crash into it. And then again, obstacle avoidance may fail, so never trust it. That's my opinion. But this does not have that, so that's a feature that's present on a Phantom 4, but not the GoPro Karma. Now the hand catch, I would not attempt to hand catch anything. When I'm landing on a small boat, what I'll often do is put on my quick disconnect prop guards. Interesting point, this does not have prop guards. At least at the time of posting this, there aren't quick disconnect or any prop guards that I'm aware of for it. So it's something to be aware of if you're landing in a tight space, because when I landed in a tight space with the quick disconnect prop guards of the Phantom, if it toppled over after landing because the boat was rocking, at least when it toppled over, the prop guard usually hit, so it didn't cut my interior or it didn't enable the prop to make contact with the hard boat deck, which could in turn damage the prop and or the motor. So that's something to be aware of. What was this, a touch screen? I'll just ask me if this is a touch screen on the controller. Let's power it back on. I love absolutely the best feeling controller. that I put in my hands for a drone. I mean, if it performs as well as it looks and feels, I mean, this is minimal amount of things. I mean, you got your gimbal wheel, you got a record, you got a mode, you got a start, stop, and a land button. It's powering on. Yes, it is a touchscreen because I just had to hit touch to select English language. Cool. This is cool. So yeah, touchscreen in there. Great question. Hand catching, only being able to count to 9. That's right, losing that one finger. What have you been doing? Oh, I've been hand catching drones. What have you been doing today? Oh, hand caught another drone. Today, another one. And another one. And then you have like no fingers. You got one hand with fingers, and it's like, I used to hand catch drones, but not anymore. Good stuff. What is the process for assembling the props? Great question. Let's take a look at that right now. I haven't put them on yet. So I noticed that it came with 2 of these tools, which I'm assuming are the prop tools. So looking at the middle of the motor, this one has a white center, this one has a black center, this one has a white, this has a black. And likewise on the props themselves, this is a silver center and this is a black center. So let's do one of each. It does have a directional indicator for locking, which I think on the Phantom it was directional indicator for unlock, wasn't it? But this is for lock. So I'm going to go to silver and I'm going to rotate in that direction to lock. It seems to be on there. So I'm curious. And we probably need to bring the manual out here in a second and see. I'm curious what this tool is for. So I can feel it making contact. I don't assume. Well, let's just get the manual out and let's see. Because it seems like it just screws on and screws off, but I don't know why this is in there. But I know the Phantom came with a prop wrench in case the prop became stuck. It's a motor clamp. Okay, so if this is a motor clamp, oh, there it goes. Gotcha. So see, you can see right here this little end piece. This fits over the motor. So when you're screwing on, in this case, the silver prop, you can hold on to the motor. See? Which that begs the question, since that's in there, are these self-tightening props like on the Phantom? Because with the the Phantom, I just hand tightened it and it was able to stay on, never had a problem. So I'm going to have to read and see if these have to be, or if this is only included in case they become stuck when you're trying to take it off. Maybe when it flies, maybe it has a tendency to tighten. So by having this, when you land and you take it off, this enables you to hold that motor in place while you unscrew the prop. It would seem to be a pain, but I'm not certain this is absolutely necessary. I think this may be more of it's in there in case it becomes stuck. But let's see how it performs in the field. I mean, this is, ultimately this is one of those what ifs and what's going to happen. So let's see in the manual if it mentions how to attach a propeller. It says, lightly tighten the propellers by hand. Propellers are color-coded to match the correct motors. So it says by hand. So I guess that's just a if the propeller becomes stuck tool. Let's see if it mentions it in the latter part of the manual here. Take off. No, my assumption is that that's just there in case it becomes stuck and you've got to grip the motor so you can unscrew the prop. Great questions. And let's see, the other question was, we talked about the build quality, demonstrated screwing the props on and off. We weighed everything. What else? Keep these questions coming. I mean, this is good stuff. I've got a few more minutes. I can try my best to answer here. Yeah, I'd go outside, but it's dark. I don't fly at night. But I am super excited to fly during the daylight. This thing, it looks cool. It feels cool. And as far as complaints are concerned, just out of the box, I mean, the one minor gripe that I mentioned previously is that I would have made this brightly colored so that when I take this off of my Karma grip or I take it off of my Karma drone, I'm going to have a visual acknowledgement that I forgot to put the door back on, because this would leak and it would ruin your GoPro if you put this in the water without that door properly fastened. So, that's a minor gripe. I love the smaller size of the GoPro Hero 5 Black. I like that I can swap the battery out in it, although I do prefer the even smaller size of the GoPro Hero 5 Session, which at the time of posting this, I haven't seen a Session compatible Karma gimbal. You say I seem a little bit underwhelmed, and actually that's a fair. Let me hit export on this, and I'll elaborate on that. Be just a second while I export this. Yeah, I'm not disappointed, but I'm not trying to think of the best way to put this. It's very cool. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I guess in my mind, what I'm seeing here, I'm seeing something that's longer and thinner, but it's still, I was thinking something a lot smaller. And I think that's why, and the video quality is what's going to be the telltale, the make or break for me. But I'm kind of confused because I've got a drone. I've got a controller. I don't have to deal with carrying an iPod Touch or an iPhone or an iPad or whatever. But what's cool is that when I'm not flying, I've got access to this handheld gimbal. That's really nice. I got that with it. So, and then also I got the Hero 5 Black. So when you look at it from that perspective, you're not just getting a drone. You're getting the drone. You're getting the top of the line GoPro Hero 5 camera. You're getting a gimbal. You're getting a backpack that's actually nice, and I'll actually wear. It's not just a gimmick. I mean, it's a nice backpack, and then it has the mount on the front of it where you can mount your Sean Connery. You can mount this Karma grip, and I mean, heck, you can put your cat in there. I mean, why not? I mean, he likes the case. Yep. He said, this is a big drone case. So, I mean, there's a lot... there's a lot to speculate. And, I mean, not to speculate. There's a lot of what ifs. I mean, how well is this thing going to perform? I mean, obviously, it's attracting everybody's attention. We've got tons of people from the internet right now. We got Sean Connery in the studio. He's sniffing it out. He's like, this is pretty cool, dude. Ultimately, it's a smaller travel size and a more manageable travel size than the Phantom 4. But, am I going to get that fisheye with the GoPro Hero 5 Black? Am I going to get too much fisheye? I mean, it's, at the end of the day, for me, I don't feel like I got a lot of, I don't feel like I got anything unnecessary with this bundle. I mean, everything that's in here is stuff I'll use. And I'm super excited about this. I mean, this handheld gimbal. I mean, this should be the top of the line gimbal for GoPros. I have no doubt in my mind. I mean, that's my expectation. But it's, the flight time and the charge time, that stuff we're going to test, because I can tell you the charger, and it's not a fair statement because these were somewhat charged when it was new out of the box. So, after I fly the first time, it'll be a few things will be interesting. How much flight time do I get with the battery? And then after I've flown one battery, how much charge is remaining in the controller? How many times can I use that controller before I have to recharge it? Because the battery in it's not replaceable. It's just USB-C rechargeable. And then also the battery on the camera. How long does the and the battery in it is swappable, but how long does it last when it's being used for drone filming? And does the drone keep it kind of topped off? To be tested. I mean, Sean Coonery here, he's like, this is cool. I mean, he just likes the backpack. He's like, man, this is the first drone you've got that had a backpack, and I agree. That's kind of cool. Now, it's not a bed to sleep in, but it's a backpack. Actually, I can't move the cat, but I can move the drone. What do you want to see? Want to see the drone? The cat would get irritated. He'd be like, "No, man." Enjoy my Phantom 4 finally got. Yeah, Phantom 4, at the time of posting this, having not yet flown the GoPro Karma, I can confidently say the Phantom 4, before flying this, is my favorite drone on the market. But this may change things. It may not. The thing that's not going to change for sure is at the range, and obviously I fly line of sight to be safe and responsible, but this is not going to have the range of the Phantom 4 or even the Phantom 3 for that matter. So that's one of those things. If you're expecting that, you're not going to get it with the Karma. But the small travel size, getting this gimbal and all of that, I mean, it's a cool little bundle. Yeah, man, deciding what drone to get. Yeah, check out, I'm going to feature everything extensively. I've got a lot of Phantom 4 content out already, and obviously Phantom 3 Pro, and hey, Sean Coonery moved. He heard you. He read your comment. So, yeah, I've got a lot of Phantom 3 Pro, Phantom 4, and then obviously some other drones too. You can check out all of that on 400orbelow.com. And see, yeah, Mavic image quality just isn't up to cut. And see, that's the thing. So, and Thomas just hit right where I am in my mind right now. So I've got, the Phantom 4, which is a solid and proven performer. 4K, 30 frames per second. It looks slick. GoPro, I have a feeling the video quality may be better than the Mavic. And that's, it's kind of, I don't know. It's one of those things. I mean, you field tested, I field tested. I mean, ultimately, I'm going to field test the heck out of this. And also the Mavic. And I've already field tested the heck out of the Phantom 4. And I can say, at this point in time, again, Phantom 4 is my favorite drone. But with that being said, let's see how Karma performs. Let's see how Mavic performs. Because there is value in enhanced portability. Think about it from this perspective. A lot of times, you may go out, you want to go somewhere, but you don't want to lug around a lot of camera gear. So, you may take your smartphone. Or maybe your smartphone's not good enough. So you may pack like an ultra compact camera, like a little RX, RX 100 Sony or something. Very compact, fit in your pocket, still get really amazing image and video quality. But if you really want to go out and get the good stuff, you pack your DSLR, your mirrorless camera. So I think drones are going in the same direction. It's really a matter of where you're going that'll dictate which kit you travel with. And I'm not saying not everybody's gonna own multiple drones, because it's not realistic. But ultimately, people that are serious about video and/or photo, they own multiple cameras. So what's different? What makes owning multiple drones different than owning multiple cameras? I mean, it's really just it's the same type situation. So if you look at it from that perspective, it's pretty cool. As far as this again, this is the GoPro Hero 5, the GoPro Karma with Hero 5 Black, and you can check out 400orbelow.com, my website, because I've got everything featured there, and I'm gonna be adding a lot more. But it's I haven't tested it yet, so I can just speak for what I got out of the box. And what's in the box, I'm impressed. Just to recap the minor points of concern that I have, this is not cheap. This top part does not feel cheap at all, but it doesn't feel as rigid as the Phantom 4. Not that that's the problem. But other than that, it's just going to be a matter of the field test. That's going to make or break it. And it's, not just field testing it, but, when it's hovering, does it have a wobble? That's something I've heard people speculate about. They're like, hey man, the Karma wobbles or whatever. It doesn't stay still like a Phantom 4. I can get that Phantom 4 in the sky, even with moderate wind, and it'll sit there and hover, and it looks like the camera's on a tripod. Can I achieve that with the Karma? Can I achieve that with the Mavic? I don't know. I haven't tested it yet. So, yeah, there's a lot of what ifs. It's really just a matter of personal preference, budget. Are you going to be filming 4K? That's up to you. Check out just check out 400orbelow.com and check out all of my drones. I've got tons of videos, tons of tutorials. Drones have become more user friendly now, and there's been less troubleshooting challenges recently. But I've got all those old troubleshooting challenges documented. So Sydney, Australia. Oh man, that's an awesome place. So I've never been to Australia. It's on my to-do list, and sounds really cool. But that's a bummer. I hear everything down there is a lot more expensive because most everything has to be imported. Yeah, and you can check out on 400orbelow.com. Go to the drone auction, and you can find new and used drones there, which is a great place to research that. But we're kind of getting long here. I appreciate everyone dialing in. I didn't have any sort of formal schedule for this. It just happened. Check out my unboxing video if you want to see when I actually took it out of the box, and you can see everything. The little pieces of plastic been poked off and all that. If you're into that, you can see that. And then ultimately my field test videos, I'm going to be testing the heck out of this. So, like every other drone, I'm going to take it out, see what it does, get your feedback. We'll host a follow-up live show with question and answer session, so you can share your experiences if you've gotten your hands on a Karma, or if you've just watched my videos and my field test videos. What did you notice? What did you still want to know if I didn't completely address everything? Because that's what this is all about. It's taking out a new product and seeing how it performs, or how well it performs, or how poorly it performs. So with that being said, I appreciate everyone's viewership. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe to youtube.com/IRIXGuy. Follow me on other social media too: Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, and obviously YouTube, youtube.com/IRIXGuy. And check out 400orbelow.com for everything drones. Tons of drones there. Tons of drones, tutorials, everything. And I appreciate y'all's viewership, and y'all have a good day. Let's see.